Hey, what's cracking? This is Darren, Phat-Man McDuffie, helping you become perfectly healthy and toned. Brought to you by I'mThePhatMan.com. Today's video is for all those parents out there. If you have children, younger kids, you specifically want to pay attention to this video because I'm going to be going over food and how it will affect your child's mood. So most of the time when I'm out, what I'll see is some child, you'll be in a department store, everybody's probably experienced this, where you're sitting in a department store or looking for something and there's a child that's passed out on the floor crying and something's going on and the parents are all embarrassed. But if you were a parent like my mother was, you'd probably just pick the child up off the floor, give the child a spanking, and everything would be all right. That's what I experienced when I was a child. But not many parents learn about how food affects their child's mood. So it may not be so much that the child has a behavior problem. It may be a fact that you're not feeding the child correctly. And I know a lot of parents don't want to hear this, but it's a rude awakening for you. So think about this. Most of the time when we have our kids, our children, and when they're up early, the first thing that they want to do is grab cereal. And most kids gravitate towards those cereals that are sweeter, the Lucky Charms, the Fruit Loops, the what is the other one, the Crunch Berries, and all of those with all of the food dyes in them. And you're starting your child's day off with sugar. I know a lot of teachers who complain that the children can't pay attention, and this is the reason why. So you're starting your child's day off with sugar. They're going to school high on sugar, and then they fall, their blood sugar drops, and then they can't pay attention in class. But also what happens is this brings about a lot of behavioral problems. So you're seeing a lot of kids now that are actually going to the principal's office, or they're having notes written home to the parents and saying that, hey, your child can't sit still, your child can't pay attention. And it's not your child's fault, it's actually your fault, the fact that you're not feeding your child correctly. Now, my girlfriend is a teacher, and she says that some of her kids come in eating hot Cheetos and all this stuff, and this is breakfast. This is breakfast. This is not throughout the day for a snack. These are children that are coming into school eating these types of things and thinking that this is going to fuel them, and also leaving the burden on the teacher to teach a kid like this when they have no hopes of being able to pay attention or being able to modify their behavior because they're not being fed correctly. Now, the flip side to all of this is that when kids have all of these behavior problems, the most immediate thing that parents want to do is take these kids to a behavioral specialist, a doctor, and say, hey, my child can't sit still, my child is ADHD or ADD or whatever it is. And then they want the doctor to write a prescription, but they don't know the side effects, so they don't know really what they're doing to these children. So once you start a child on drugs, it opens the gateway for that child to be susceptible to more drugs. So if you have them on an ADHD medication, chances are when they grow up, they're going to be more apt to gravitate towards cocaine or gravitate more towards heroin. So you've just opened the gateway to them, because these drugs are going to make them feel good or give them some type of illusionary effect, because when they were 3-4 years old, they couldn't pay attention. They were told that they were hyperactive. So all of this starts with the parents. Now, how can we change this? The two most common things for a lot of children that they have food sensitivities to are dairy and wheat. And wheat is giving everybody a lot of problems because it's not the wheat that we are accustomed to. When I was a child, my breakfast kind of consisted of cereal sometimes, which was high in sugar. And also, if it was, my mother did do eggs and toast. But toast, again, is wheat. And wheat is also sugar. So when you eat that, it's going to fluctuate a child's blood sugar. Now, when this happens, what we want to do is blame our child. Why my child can't pay attention, or we are chastising a child and saying, hey, I'm going to give you a spanking, or I want you to act up, or go in your room and take time out, or whatever it is. We're not making that connection that our child's mood is directly correlated with the food that we're feeding our child. So the next time you're out in Walmart or Target or wherever you shop, and take a look at the number of kids, the smaller kids, who are falling asleep in their mother's shopping cart, or running around the store, or falling out in the middle of the aisle and crying because something is wrong with you. And think about the fact that probably an hour ago their mother or father gave them some kind of sweet drink, an icy or something like that, maybe gave them some cereal, or maybe even took them to the food court and got them a Starbucks Frappuccino. You have parents out there that are doing that as well. But I want you to start making that correlation with your child's behavior and the food that they're eating, and do something to change that. So this has been Darren Phat-Man McDuffie helping you become perfectly healthy and toned, and I will see you on the next video. Thank you.